Hello everyone, today I'm going to offer up what I think might be the scariest build to run on the Demogorgon. And by scariest, I mean it should scare the bejesus out of every survivor you come across. It is not meant to be the most optimal build, just something to have fun with while you terrify survivors. Let's talk about the Demogorgon's powers, then get into the build and talk strategy. The Demogorgon's primary power is Of the Abyss. You press and hold the power button to fully charge and activate it. All survivors within close proximity to a placed portal will be indicated by Killer Instinct. Killer Instinct gives you the ability to see blood red entity tendril icons on your screen to indicate where a survivor is, and if they're close to one of your portals. The Demogorgon can also place down portals which are white on your screen and invisible to survivors until you activate them. To activate a portal, you simply need to teleport to or from the portal. Active portals show up as yellow on your screen. To teleport to a portal, you have to be standing on another portal with the portal you want to travel to highlighted in red. You then press the active ability button again to travel through the upside down to arrive at the targeted portal. Once a portal is activated, survivors can see it and cleanse it, which takes a total of 12 seconds. This time can be decreased, however, depending on the number of survivors cleansing the portal. If survivors are cleansing a portal that you're teleporting to, they are immediately pushed away and can no longer work on it during the teleportation. The Demogorgon also has a special ability called Shred. When you're channeling Of the Abyss, you can hit the attack button and perform a massive lunging strike. You can't really alter your course once you perform this attack, and basically travel in a quick, straight line. I'm not sure about the exact distance, the best I could find was around 11 meters, but from what footage I've seen, you can cover the entire distance of the shack from one door to the other, so long as there's not a generator in your way. Now that we're familiar with the Demogorgon's powers, let's take a look at the build. To make this build as scary as possible, we're going to play on the Demogorgon's ability to track survivors with Of the Abyss and quickly pounce survivors with Shred. To do that, we'll be starting the build out with Insidious. With Insidious, you lose your terror radius and red light stain when you stand still for 2 seconds at tier 3. We'll be using this to let the Demogorgon set up in different places and focus on watching the map and using his portals to move where he needs to be, since he still loses his terror radius for a few seconds when he emerges from the portal. It's a great way to continually keep the survivors wondering where you are. Next up is Hex Ruin. This is the standard perk for most killer builds, and this build is no exception, but we're using it for more than one purpose. At tier 3, Hex Ruin causes good skill checks to regress generators by 5% as if the survivor had missed the skill check, just without the alert explosion. And it also makes it so that great skill checks don't grant any bonus progression to a generator. So basically, Hex Ruin turns your good skill checks into missed skill checks, and your great skill checks into normal good skill checks. Now, we all know that this perk is used to
slow the game down just a little bit.
Thank you, Monto. However, with this build, we're also going to be using it as bait, and I'll touch on that some more later after I'm done diving through the perks. After Hex Ruin, we're going to be using Thanatophobia, which, at tier 3, gives the survivor an action speed penalty of 4% to a maximum of 16% for each survivor that is currently injured. This, on top of Hex Ruin, is really going to
slow the game down just a little bit.
Yes. Thank you again, Monto. Anyway, our last perk is Hex Devour Hope. Hex Devour Hope gives you a token whenever a survivor is unhooked at least 24 meters away from you. 2 tokens give you a 5% haste effect 10 seconds after you hook a survivor. The haste effect lasts for 10 seconds. 3 tokens makes it so that all survivors suffer from the exposed status effect. And 5 tokens grants you the ability to kill survivors by your own hand. It's basically giving you an ebony memento mori. Again, while Hex Devour Hope is a powerful perk which is regularly used in top tier builds, we're using it as bait as well. Okay, so we have our perks. Now let's look at how we use them to get the jump on survivors while staying stealthy. Like I said before, Hex Ruin and Devour Hope are mostly being used as bait here. Their effects are extremely good and will help in
slow the game down.
No! Stop it! You don't own those 8 words! Let someone else say it. Yeah. They'll
slow the game down just a little bit.
Dang it! Fine. They'll slow it down, but they'll primarily be used to trap their survivors. The first thing you'll want to do when the game begins is place a portal down. Doesn't matter where you are, just drop one. Then, haul your otherworldly butt over to your hex totems and place portals to each of them. This is going to be the trickiest part of your entire strategy because you need a portal by each of your hex totems. Once your portals are in place, you return to your original portal or find an out-of-the-way place and set a portal there. Now you stand on your portal and channel Of the Abyss and watch your totems. Since you're standing still, your terror radius and red stain will be gone, thanks to Insidious. So unless someone walks up to you, they'll have no idea where you are, and if they do see you, they'll immediately start running the other way anyway. Once you see a survivor within range of your portal and hex totems, you wait just a few seconds before teleporting over and attacking. If you manage to down the survivor, hook them up, set a portal below their feet, then return to your original position. Doing this will give you a stack of Thanatophoria and a token for Hex Devour Hope, which will
slow the game down.
Hinder the ability of survivors to do generators and heal. The priority totem to protect is Hex Devour Hope, since it will eventually let you make all of survivors broken and killable. However, since there's no real way to tell which hex totem is which, you'll just have to be on point when it comes to protecting your totems. But that's essentially the strategy. Post up somewhere out of the way and channel up the abyss till someone comes poking around your totems or the hooked survivors. Dive into your portals to get to them quickly and punish them. You should always be far enough away so that when someone is unhooked, you get your tokens for Hex Devour Hope and eventually be able to one-shot and kill survivors outright. If you happen to basement hook someone, you're now more terrifying than Leatherface, since your 0 terror radius and 0 red stain make for a much scarier surprise with you lunging and roaring at them than the revving of a chainsaw, in my opinion. This is the build that I'm probably going to be using with Demogorgon, which I'm willing to bet so few people will expect that it might do better than I think. Like I said, I don't expect this to be a top tier build in the end, but I think it will be a very fun cat and mouse build that can snowball into complete disaster for the survivors if they don't play things right. But that's the build. What do you think of it? Do you think it'll be a fun way to play? Let me know in the comments. That's it for the video. I hope you all found it enjoyable and that you consider trying this Demogorgon build out. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike and let me know why in the comments. I hope you all have a great day, and as always, stay positive.